we're going to talk about some of the roster, 53-man roster, who we would like to see, who we wouldn't like to see. Coming up next on Outside the Pod. What's up? What's up? What's up, Fins family, Fins fans? Welcome to Outside the Pod. Once again, we're here live. We're going to react to the last preseason game for the Miami Dolphins. That went against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Saturday. It is Sunday today. And then, obviously, what we would like to see as far as a 53-man roster. Some of the guys that we're probably looking at losing and we may not want them to be gone, and then others that we do want to be gone that might end up in the roster. I got a whistle for that one. But yeah, I mean, like I said, underwhelming offensive specifically turnout or turn up or whatever you want to call it for the Miami Dolphins. The first three drives for the offense were led by the starting group for Miami Dolphins. Against Jacksonville had like their bums out. I mean, it wasn't like, it might not even have been like their second. It's probably the guys that were trying to make the roster at the end. So had a hard time moving the ball the first two drives for sure. First one was, I think it was a 3 and out, or maybe they got one, but I don't think so. I think it was like 3 and out. And then, yeah, I mean, not too much to be seen. Tyreek Hill wasn't in, obviously. Jackson obviously wasn't in. Waller wasn't in. So we know that. A good part was that Ingold was in for a couple of snaps. I don't know if he was there the whole time, making big blocks. I didn't see too much, but he was in. So that's a good, bright spot for the offense, seeing him come back in. Before I go too far, what are your initial thoughts on the offense, this game specifically?
Man, I've been going back and forth and to the both extremes. I've been really pissed off, and then I go to like, well, maybe it's because of this, maybe it's because of that, trying to reach for excuses at some points, trying to like figure it out, and I hope I'm wrong to be anywhere near the pissed off extreme. I hope I'm wrong. I hope, we've seen a couple other starting offenses not do so well this preseason as well. A lot of starters didn't play this weekend, and except for us, but a lot of other teams didn't. I would say about 85% of them didn't. So,
yeah,
so it's hard to tell. But and again, and also, McDaniel said in the press after, that they weren't doing a lot of the stuff that they normally do, like the motions and all that. Okay. But, when you're playing against dudes that are trying to fight for a spot, or your second and third stringers, come on, man. Like, you got to come out and like put up 14-21 in 14 or 21 in 3 or 4 series that you come in, right? As the starters against the backups and guys that are fighting for. That's what we kind of signed up to see this week, and I was very excited to see that. Oh, we're gonna play our starters. We're gonna.
Yeah.
This is as ready as we have to be before week 1, almost, right? It's like that's what we want to see.
Still too many questions.
Yeah, far too many for what I'm comfortable with right before week 1, because there's some glaring weaknesses in there, right? We got a guy starting at right tackle who probably, if we have a healthy line, he probably wouldn't even be on the roster, probably. Or as sure as heck wouldn't be on any other roster in the NFL. I don't know, man. So some of that stuff is still kind of aggravating. It's hard to maintain hope and faith when something like that happens. So I've been really pissed off since last night. Uh, but I'm trying to, I got the other optimist angel on my
Right.
other shoulder telling me, well, it's because of this, it's because of that. I'm hoping there was a couple of really good flashes, like a couple of really good plays, especially Tua on some pressure plays that I
Mhm.
really like. But we can get into that. I don't want to talk too much today because I'll be really pessimistic.
Well, I did want to see a little bit more out of Jalen Waddle. I think he had like one catch. It wasn't bad. It was contested and it was good. But I wanted to see a little bit more out of him. The biggest target was again, just like the previous few games when Tua was in, is Malik Washington. So he seems very comfortable with him. Uh, so I'm thinking they're gonna be rotating him in the regular season, probably a lot more than I expected initially. But yeah, so he's gonna be I think pretty active even when Tyreek Hill's back in. It just seems like he's pretty comfortable with him for now, and then I think maybe once we get the ball rolling and Jalen Waddle gets a little bit more comfortable, and then Tyreek Hill is probably going to take even more time to get comfortable with the offense. Then we'll start seeing some more distribution between the wide receivers. But there was a lot of times where I just saw like the pass rush was sometimes they were coming in scot free. There was nobody blocking them, right? They were just going straight in. Tua had to, you know, try to bail, try to step up in the pocket when he probably he didn't need to, or shouldn't have, and took a few sacks that I think were on the offensive line for the most part. I don't think he held it too long or anything like that. He did have one where he kind of had to, scramble for his life, and then and dumped it down to Malik Washington, which was a touchdown actually. Malik Washington did that juke afterwards and freaking took it to the house. It was very nice. Good to see Malik Washington's movement. Pretty good after the catch. It looked clean. Of course, once again, hard to really put too much into that basket just because it is the second, third string defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which, like I said, we should have been rolling through with the offense and starting defense. Bright, something bright out of the whole offense, though, besides Malik Washington and being able to continuously be open and be that comfort for Tua, is Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon had another pretty good showing. There was one where he hit the hole, um, identified the hole, and just hit it. And he has the speed to kind of burst through that, and it looked good. I mean, I think we're safe. Besides the depth, right? Because I still not completely behind Boone and Champlin. I mean, these guys were off the street, right? But as a starting running back, Ollie Gordon seems like he could handle himself as long as he stays healthy, of course, because he might, until we get the other two back, he might be getting a lot of carries. Obviously, we got a couple of weeks to get those guys back, but if we don't, Ollie Gordon's going to have a lot of that on his
Yeah.
shoulders to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a bright spot is Malik. He's getting, and I'll start with Malik because he started with talking about Malik before Ali, but Malik, I just want to say, is getting into the dangerous category to me.
Yeah.
Like that dude is now a threat every time he catches the ball. That move, that's an elite move right there. And we've seen it before in a couple games. Maybe it was the first or second. I can't remember which one where he juke two guys at the same time. They both fell. That's how good a move it was. That two guys that were trying to tackle him just fell to the ground because they just lost balance
Yeah.
in trying to.
Broken
It's like in
ankles.
basketball when
Right.
when the point guard's breaking ankles is basically what he was doing there.
Yeah.
So he was that's amazing to me. He's in that, he's getting into that, like people are paying attention. He's getting into the category of a dangerous and a threat with the ball when he catches it. Sometimes he reminds me of Tyreek Hill,
Hmm.
in some of the moves that he makes, and then his size and everything. You go, like, was that Tyreek? Or if you can't see the number well, was
Right.
that Tyreek or Malik? It's like uh so that's awesome to see. Like I think he's got a huge step forward from last year. And Ollie, yeah, you're right about that. Unfortunately, with the injuries and everything, we're gonna see a lot of Ollie, but I think that this is one guy that wants action now. He wants it. He's looking at this as an opportunity, and I think he's doing well so far. I think he's gonna make the best out of it, and I think we're gonna be surprised, like in a positive way with
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon. So I think we're all right, for
Right.
a little bit.
Yeah.
The thing is,
And
we have to
obviously
limit
not
his
nothing against the running backs that we already have, right? Devon
no,
Achane is still an elite running back, and he just needs to
absolutely.
be, he's just very small. He seems a little injury prone at this point, but he's still very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and don't be blaming this shit on me because I might have. I didn't jinx the shit. I did say he was fragile a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
you did.
I called it, man. This, I hate to say it, but his frame and it does bug me that the type of hits that he gets and everything. Every time he gets a hit, it's like, oh, crap. And I don't have that with like someone like Ollie. When I see
Yeah.
him get his, like he could take it.
Yeah, yeah. He gets up. There was one time he was kind of gingerly coming up. It looked like maybe his shoulder kind of was like, oh, because he kind of
Yeah,
got up
but
slow.
he he hits you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think it's the difference between him and Devon.
Yeah.
Achan, he absorbs every bit of that hit, man.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he and goes down. It's not like he's bouncing off of people or lowering the shoulder and like trucking something. He's
Yeah.
not that. And all
No,
he
yeah.
is.
He's mostly trying to avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that type of back, I think is better to withstand injury, I think. And Devon, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but his
Well, yeah.
frame, I don't think.
He's the right hook to Devon Achan's freaking jab. You know what I mean?
Right,
Devon
exactly.
Achan's like the jab, and
Yeah.
and Ollie Gordon is like the right hook. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
and
hit you a
not that
little
it
different.
doesn't. Yeah, and not that it doesn't work. I think Achan is going to be a great back, and as long as we limit, injuries and things like that, I think it's going to be awesome.
Right.
You know.
So one thing that's, I mean, I thought maybe we would see. Obviously, I don't think he's ready yet, but I wanted to see maybe some snaps from Darren Waller, but that wasn't the case. So I mean, we'll see what happens with him. Uh, there's his whistle. He's a fouler. But yeah, he needs to be part of the team. If not, go ahead and get the stepping, man. Get the stepping and give whatever money was given to you back, because I think you just haven't done anything for us yet. And I think that's a straight up foul. That's a straight up whistle for you. Anyway,
Yeah.
on to the defense. We did have the starting defense out there. Pass rush looked good, man. I mean, these guys are solid. I can't say enough about them. They're looking. I mean, again, it was Jacksonville's second team or whatever. But I mean, it ain't gonna be. It's not gonna look much different against some starters. I can tell you that. And not only that, but it was vanilla. They weren't trying to. They weren't trying to disguise too much. Probably, they were giving you probably the the basics of the defense or what the defense is going to look like. The only thing that kind of worried about me, and I want to get your thoughts, is this guy, what was his name? Wolford or whatever the hell the quarterback's name. He scrambled for like, I don't know, he probably had like 60 yards that game on a couple of scrambles, man. 15, 20 each. So my concern as soon as I seen that, and I know Jordan Brooks is not in, so that could be a factor, right? And I think I want to say that Minkah Fitzpatrick also did not. He played, but not a lot of snaps. Not as many as like the rest of the starting group. So I'm wondering, if that could be a factor as well. But this dude did slice us up the middle, man, a couple of times. And when we're going up against people like Justin Fields in our division, and obviously Josh Allen, that's not something that I want to see. I don't want to see a quarterback being able to scramble for that many yards, just like that. And then a no-name guy. Like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Just gave me flashbacks, man. Definitely, because running quarterbacks have trashed us in the past, right? And what did we game plan for this guy? No, I mean, so I think when we are going to be facing a quarterback that is that can get out of the pocket and create, I think we're going to game plan for that, right? We're going to be game planning for Fields and for all these guys. So it's going to look different. And you're right, we're missing a couple guys in there. So I think we should be ready. We should be, right? We should be ready for that. Whether it's going to happen, I don't know, but I don't think we'll read into it too much. It does suck that a third string quarterback is doing that to you, but what are we going to game plan against the guy right now? Well, no, we're not. But
No.
I think that in the regular season we will, and whether it's going to be successful or not, I don't know. But I think that we will have some kind of plan for somebody like Fields or one of those.
Right. And I guess to give you a little bit of hope, and those listening out there, a little bit of hope is that, again, this is preseason. There's probably particulars that the head coach and the assistant coaches are trying to see on the field that won't particularly, get you to that W for a preseason game. But they may be looking, they're calling the plays to where maybe they're saying, hey, I want to see how, our offensive line, does when the guard has to pull or whatever the case may be. They're looking at particulars to each play and each player, and not necessarily to continue to score touchdowns during those games. I think they're looking specifically for very individual player, performance, and then as a group, how well is this play gonna do versus a certain defense maybe or something like that. So it is, you can't take it all into heart, and you can't say, oh, this team looks terrible in preseason and just run with that. I mean, there is some stuff that does, that's very telling, right? If flags, if certain people are not getting open, just mistakes in the blocking, which happened a lot, I think, in this game, in the offensive line. But maybe it's because they were experimenting with certain plays and certain, block dynamics with the O-line. So we'll just have to see. We have to take it with a grain of salt, and hopefully that's exactly how it is. And this is not a precursor to what we're going to see in the regular season, because our starters did not do well against the Jacksonville backups. And that gives you a little bit of concern, right? Because, I mean, you're going full speed against everybody's first team during the regular season, man, and you can't avoid it. So would have liked to seen Tua a little bit more polished for this last game. Even though I think the offensive line was the uh, biggest of concern, just because he didn't have time to really react a lot of the times to whatever he was given by the defense. So, um, yeah, but moving into some of the roster spots that I would like to see be given to some of these guys. I think Dickerson is going to be one of those guys. Although we didn't see him in this game a lot, but he's going to be one of those guys that are going to be left out. A lot of people are saying that you didn't see him in this game because the Dolphins are trying to hide him for the practice squad, right? So I mean, it could be true. I mean, I think it's just speculation, right? Let's not play him so other teams don't see what he's capable of, and kind of just, that way we could keep him in the practice squad and nobody, claims him off waivers. So, but I think Dickerson is going to be one of those guys that's getting left out, and one that I hope is getting left out still because I watched him closely when he was in the game is our best friend, Cam Smith. He gets a few more. Let's leave him out, man. This guy, I watched him, a running back get a screen just in front of him, and it reminded me of like me playing like Pop Warner football, and then having and watching some people just kind of avoid the play altogether, right? You're like the running back is running right at you, but you pretend like you're like lost in the play. Like, where's the ball at? You're not. You're like, it didn't seem like he was like he was really anywhere near. He wasn't looking to make that play. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was avoiding it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
no,
I mean,
totally.
Dude, you're fighting for a spot on the roster, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see much of him. It just that play that was the example that just made me like. I saw that play, and I was like, I don't want him, dude. I don't want him on the team. Let's just move on.
I don't know if this was the same play you were looking at, but I was following him on a couple, and there was one where the if I saw this correctly from that angle, but the play was the guy was running, the ball carrier was running toward the sideline. And it looked like they already had like four guys were already chasing him and pushing him out of bounds. And he's running like almost full speed across the field. But there was no way he was gonna get there for any kind of contact, guaranteed. Like guy was already probably like with 1 foot out of bounds. And I don't know if he's trying to like I don't know, man. For the optics, oh, he's running hard or whatever. But there was no way he was gonna get in on the play, and I thought, okay, that's kind of funny. But anyways,
yeah.
and
Like we're
unfortunately,
playing Pop Warner, man.
yeah,
Like, you better be running fast, man. You better be running. I don't care if the play's over. You better hit somebody. Like that kind of.
yeah, exactly. And so, unfortunately, with a couple of guys on IR, probably starting the season, we're probably gonna see Cam Smith on the 53, man. That's a bad part. So yeah, you're right. I don't think we want to see him there because I mean every time he gets on the field, he just proves himself wrong on the other side of things.
Right.
So it's just so hard to watch him play and some guys on the IR that definitely deserve it and are not going to be able to get in there.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But I think we're going to see him in there whenever we get some guys back from injuries. He's going to be the first one out probably.
Yeah.
That's probably what it's gonna look like. But unfortunately, we got injuries, and so it is what
Well,
it
I
is.
mean, even with the injuries, though, do you still believe that he's one of the ones that should be on the roster with the healthy cornerbacks that we have now?
Well, who else you got? I mean,
I mean,
it's
the
either that
starters
or
right now is Duck, Jack
no.
Jones started, right?
Yeah, and probably Marshall
And yeah, and Marshall
at
Jr. And then we
slot.
still and Mike Hilton can still be he's in there. I think he's still gonna be in the roster. Well, maybe not because they didn't play him at all, dude. Like I didn't. They keep saying, "Oh, we know what we know what Mike Hilton's about," but nobody. I mean, did you see him? I mean, I didn't closely look at the game again, which I
No,
should have. But
I didn't see him yesterday. Uh, I don't remember seeing him at all.
yeah,
And Marshall was there for sure. He was always
yeah.
around the ball. He did a couple of good plays. But yeah,
Missed
there's
a
other
couple of
guys,
tackles
right?
too, though. But
Yeah, Sheffield, I guess,
Sheffield,
is
yeah.
another one that'll probably be in the mix.
He wasn't.
There's
He didn't dress though. I was curious about that. Was it
I don't
because he's banged up, maybe, or something?
probably something precautionary like like Phillips or like Brooks or something like that, something similar. I don't know, I haven't heard anything particular about Sheffield
Right.
or Mike Hilton. I did see Dantzler a lot in
Mhm.
there.
He made a good play at one point,
Yeah,
but I
so
mean, again, it was like fourth quarter, so it was like third team Jacksonville, but just
yeah,
like we were there too, right? But
exactly.
um, yeah, it's hard to say with this group who is it, but I still think that he should be left out. Um, we still got Trader. Um, I mean, there was who was it? The
Cornell Armstrong, Isaiah
I feel like
Johnson.
you keep Isaiah Campbell more than Cam Smith, even though he's more of a safety.
You mean Eugene?
No, Campbell. Isaiah Campbell.
Elijah.
Elijah Campbell. Sorry. Yeah, Elijah Campbell. Same. But you know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
those
Like,
those guys are safeties, right? I mean, we're talking about safeties now.
yeah. But Isaiah Campbell's played nickel before.
Maybe. I don't recall it 100%, but maybe it did.
Maybe not.
Yeah, a couple of
I
these
think
safeties
I
have
feel
played
like that sounds
slot.
familiar to me. But either
Yeah,
way,
I think. Yeah, I think you're right. A couple of these guys did play in the slot for sure.
right. Um, Another group I think that's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, the defensive ends, but we all know kind of where we stand on defensive ends, unless you want to add something. But the wide receiver groups as well. Um, who do you think the last wide receiver is? We got Washington 4, right? Or you think he's before Westbrook Akine?
Man, I had
He's done a
a
lot better in
couple of
camp, right?
yeah, definitely Malik is 4. And I would say Eskridge 5 and Taj 6, right?
So you're saying Akina is 3?
I still think so.
Yeah.
I still think so. I
Yeah,
know we
I'm not
haven't
sure I
seen
agree.
much.
I might just because of his size, I guess. Kind of, he kind of has that a little bit of upper hand, like something that we could throw on the sideline and he could go up for it. I think that might be the reason why you just keep him on. You keep him on before some of the other guys. But what'd you say though? Eskridge 5, and they're
Yeah,
keeping a
Eskridge
6, or you
5
think
and
that
Taj
5 is enough?
6.
Huh?
I think they'll keep 6.
So Taj Washington.
Taj, yeah. That's what I think.
I don't know, man. I feel like Theo Wees did better than Taj. I
I
mean, I don't
agree
know
he
what the
did.
rest of camp looked like, but during the games, I felt like Theo Wees was a little bit more comfortable in there.
Yeah, I think he did great. I think maybe it was because of the competition that they were facing. I really loved the chemistry that he and Ewers had and all that, and they did look great together, especially. But I think he's gonna be in the practice squad,
Yeah.
but I don't think he makes
Yeah.
I don't think he makes the roster.
And Easy E's gone, you think?
I think Easy's gone. Yeah,
Yeah. Last chance, I thought too. Yeah. Unfortunately, because I felt like, he was one of those guys that's been with us for a while and,
yeah. He
been in
had a
and
good
out.
play.
Huh?
He had a good play yesterday,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Not enough, I don't think. The other
right.
guys, I think, showed him up. A
Yeah.
lot of the other guys showed him up. So, yeah. Um, Defensive ends, linebackers, they all look pretty solid as far as who we probably think are going to be in the roster. The three quarterbacks, there's no more, no less. We can't go with less, that's for sure. But yeah, defensive ends. We just need to give a shout out to Jordan Phillips for stepping up and being a starter this game. I'm wondering, we talked about it before. I'm wondering if this is, the way the depth chart is looking for Mike McDaniel and Anthony Weaver as far as who's next to Zach Zeeler in the starting defensive end or defensive line defensive tackle position. So interesting. Yeah, if he got up there, that's a steal. If he beat Benito Jones out and Kenneth Grant, that's a steal for this for Chris Greer. And I mean, he's looking the part. He's doing very well, man. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. I love the guy. He's chasing down.
Yeah,
He's chasing down ball carriers back in the defensive backfield, and I mean, he looks very athletic for his size. Very athletic.
energy up,
Very strong.
strong, and we all know he's strong. His numbers are crazy, but
Yeah, and I think it's such a awesome, you know, I don't think it's a problem. It's an awesome depth that we have there in defensive tackle. I still think you see Sealer and Benito like in the early downs, and then you probably bring Jordan in, for Benito in like second long, third, that kind of thing.
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's an awesome problem to have because you'll have fresh players coming in and out. Uh, that, but I still think that the first down you probably see more of like what you saw in this first down in this game. Where did you see that? Where like the three edges were in there.
Yeah,
Phillips, Chop, and
yeah. The
Chubb.
first play of the game, yeah, it was
Dude,
all three of them.
that was sexy, man. I saw that. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And they all got there like very
Exactly.
fast.
It was like one right
They're
after
probably
another.
pumped.
Bam, boom, bap. It's
Yeah,
like, whoa. But Chop got there first, and he was the closest to the quarterback. So yeah, he got there first. But it was, Chubb kind of landed on top of Phillips's leg there, and I was a little worried for a second. Saw it, I was like cringed a little bit.
oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was
Some
like, man.
PTSD came out.
Yeah, because
No.
like Chubb was like Superman. He dove in there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
if it wasn't because Chubb like dragged the quarterback down, like Chubb would have smashed him. He would have like buried him into the ground. But anyways,
yeah.
I think we'll see a lot of that, and I like it.
Yeah.
And maybe something like one of these outside edges is gonna maybe take a route or something like that, maybe on a passing play, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe you blitz an inside
Yeah.
linebacker up the middle,
Right.
like kind of disguise it a little bit. So they might show this look, but not necessarily bring all of them guys. They
Yeah.
may bring a different guy from the middle or something like that. I think that you can do a lot with such a large depth of players.
Yeah.
That it's exciting, man.
Yeah. That are going to be, a lot of times are going to be fresh, because
Yeah,
even the linebackers could be rotated pretty often, inside linebacker. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
yeah, it's going to be, if we're successful, it's likely going to be because of the defense, but we definitely need some offense. Week 1, September 7th against Indy. And the only thing I got to say about that, let's not get too deep, is because we kind of want to probably do an episode after this next week previewing that game. But, I mean, how healthy or ready to play is Jackson, Waller, Tyreek Hill, Achane, all these guys? We need them. And the offense is where our problems are at, and we need these guys to come back, especially Austin Jackson, and definitely needs to get in there and start practicing with the guys so they all get in sync. Darren Waller, I'm not, like I said, man, I'm not gonna press my whistle, but I'm not too hopeful about the tight end position, even if he does come in. He's been out a year. He's probably, if anything, he's, second half of the season, if he ends up becoming what he should be or what he was before. But I'm not too hopeful about that. I think we're running with the tight ends that we have currently on the roster, or, that have been playing. Obviously, he's on the roster, but, Farrell Brown, Julian Hill, and I don't know if Tanner is going to be on the roster. I'm not sure, but those are the guys that we probably have to lean on. And but yeah, definitely want to see Austin Jackson come back. We need Tyreek Hill. We need Achane. If we're going to do anything in this league this year, we need these guys back. And yeah, any last thoughts for you?
Yeah, I think that the most important player on here that you mentioned is Austin Jackson.
Yeah.
The minute he went down last year, that's when almost everything went down.
That's true.
And of course, Tua's injury too, but Austin Jackson's injury was probably the thing that most affected this team last year. And if we don't have him this year, then, we're going to see a lot of the same. We're not going to be able to run the ball as effectively. The protection is not going to be there. So I think this guy is probably the most important one to have back. I think they're all important, but I think, if we don't have AJ back, it's going to be a problem because we just don't have the depth to withstand that. And, the Darren Waller, yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't have a lot of hope for this. For that same reason, we might have 4 tight ends on this roster. We might have Connor in there because, as far as the other tight ends, he's probably the best at catching the ball than all these other guys.
Yeah.
And the other guys haven't shown me a whole lot.
They didn't do anything.
So I think
Farrell Brown barely caught a touchdown yesterday. Barely.
Yeah. Yeah. They might have reviewed it because I don't know. I don't know if his second foot was there. But anyways.
Yeah, he was still playing with the ball when his feet were coming down. So
it was still a hot potato at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I hope so, but he hasn't practiced, if at all. I mean, he was in there in warm-ups, I think, but that's the only activity he's done with the team, with the other players, right? I mean, I haven't seen him in any other workouts with the team, any other, going out there and learning the plays and everything. I don't think he's done that. So even if he is back on week 1, he's playing in there, he's suited up. What's he gonna do? Like, does he even know the plays? Like, I'm not even 100% sure.
He doesn't even know. Yeah, he doesn't even know. He's probably gonna be a liability more than he's helping anybody.
Yeah, and so I think that Westbrook-Ikhine is we were talking about it. I think he's still going to have to be a big part of this passing game because if you don't have Waller and then your tight ends are worth the shit in the passing game, then the only other big body that's Ikhine, that's Westbrook-Ikhine.
Yeah, everybody else is tiny. Everybody else is half my size.
We got the Smurfs running out there. I mean, what are we gonna do? We can't.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look,
I don't know.
Next week, like I said, we'll probably preview Indy in Indianapolis. They haven't won a game in Indianapolis, or at least an opening, home opening in Indianapolis for like 13 years. So,
Yikes.
let's keep the streak going. But we'll talk about that next week and preview that. So, yeah, come join us. We'll be here next week talking Indy, Miami Dolphins, and a regular season. I mean, we're going to be hyped. We really want to see this game, September 7th. So it's on and popping. So chop that subscribe button, give us a like, comment, get in the conversation. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week here on Outside the Pod and Miami Dolphins podcast. Fins up. Catch you later.